In 2014, the Pasture Soil Health Project video series introduced Barron and Melissa Keefer, owners of Valley View Farms in Franklin County, Pennsylvania. Since then, the Keefers have added 4 waterways and installed approximately 1,500 feet of new cow walkways to improve herd movement across the farm, including more stable access to the riparian area. Let's visit with Barron to learn more about the changes, issues, and successes experienced in 2015 and 2016.
Well, since you was out last time, we took about 15, 18 acres out, put it into cropland for this year, and then we took it went back and planted triticale and orchard grass in with that to get us a new stand of grass for 2016, and then in 16 we're going to take about another 12 acres out that the grass stand is not as strong on, and then we're going to do it about the same way. We'll go back and probably either barley or triticale and grass to get another stand started, for like 17 is my ultimate goal. I can maintain it very well with corn to kill all the weeds and clean it up, and I just feel I can manage it a lot better that way, is to try and to spray the grass and reseeding grass. You can't reseed grass and get a super stand, in my opinion. But I can reseed grass and corn stalks and get a real good stand of it. Now we tend to cover all the pasture ground at least once a year with either dry manure or liquid, and all but the riparian areas. We don't get into any of that, but like all the riparian areas last year was left. It was later in the year till we grazed them, and you had a nice stand of tall grass that with the seed, and I could tell the biggest difference this year in how much heavier and thicker the grass was in 2015 than it was in 2014. When we started this in 2007, we bought the farm in 2007. November, December 2007 is when I got involved with Titus and Suzette. And 2008, that winter, we put all the exterior fencing in, and then we put all the animal trails and the 2-wire fencing in 2008 and 9. And from then till now, I can tell the world of difference.
Interesting things with this farm were the large amount of riparian area and water flow through the areas we wanted cows to go to. So it took a lot of discussion. We had Brad Beaver here as the engineer. He could see how lanes could cross streams and that sort of thing. So it was a collective way of looking at it and putting it together that it would, one, work from a cow movement standpoint. I'm always looking at how will the cows move, as well as Brad with the engineers, how would we make this thing work and where's the best place for crossings and so forth. So it was an effort that we solved together, with Barron saying what he wanted and what we could do.
The walkways were a big improvement. When we came here, any of the cows was here either crossed the lane to get to the pasture field, or they went around the back of the barn. And we've put anywhere from 11 to 16-foot walkways in, and slated them, and that it makes it very easy, even if ground is fairly muddy, to get cows from point A to point B without tearing anything up. And we was able to cross 2 small streams with the walkways, to get the cows to the other side without dragging them through, instead of dragging them through the stream or the riparian area, whichever you'd want to. Well, it would depend a little bit on the year. As 2015 started out, I would say probably no more than maybe once or twice a month. But then whenever it got dry and got really dry, we probably grazed it about every 8-10 days. The ground was dry, the cows didn't mark nothing up, and the grass was still growing, in the lower areas. And there was stuff there for them to chew off and eat. We probably grazed it a little harder this year than I ever grazed it later. I don't graze any of the riparian areas till at least probably the 1st of July, just so that all the grass has a good start. And when we came, they looked pretty rough, and I don't really want them to go back. I mean, with all the work and stuff we put into it, I don't really want them to go back to looking like they did. Yeah, yeah, we grazed pretty much the whole way through the summer. I mean, we grazed the riparian area probably twice as much, just because there was grass there where there wasn't grass anywhere else. We did subsidize with some hay at some points, but not anything too major. I mean, we did put the corn silage up a little bit, but I mean, the cows still went out every day, and for most parts, they didn't come back in because they found enough to keep them occupied out in the field. Yeah, we went from being very wet to very dry. Now in the dry weather, we were able to graze it a lot harder and put the cows in a lot more, because I mean, they could go pretty much anywhere across and it didn't interfere with anything. Yeah, oh my, you can tell the world of difference from this water now till when we came here. When we would have started this whole project, the water would have been, cloudy to dirty, I would say. And now, even on a day like today, if you had to put the cows in here and make them stay in here all day long, you could go down here at the end of at the end of our property line, and that's still clean water. I tend to think, especially on our farm, 90% of the water, when it leaves, it's leaving better than where it come into, in my personal opinion. I mean, now, when we came here, I would have argued with you the other way, if you know what I'm saying.
I think the most interesting part of this project is coming back 4 or 5 years later and actually seeing it all in grass, and seeing what we started out with, it all being in cropland, and what pasture there was. It was very degraded, and now seeing that the cropland all in pasture land, and seeing the existing pasture is all productive forage. The stream banks have all come back. They are all in productive forage. They've got good grass cover. It's not, it's more of a shallow type stream rather than a real deep stream. I think that's probably what I think is probably the best coming back.
By late June in 2016, Barron's cows have already grazed the riparian area 7 to 8 times.
I mean, second of all, it's a lower area, the grass will grow back a little faster. And if the cow's got it chewed down, it's nice and lush grass, they'll keep it cleaned off. Plus, this area is too hilly to even get anything on to help clean it off. That was the other reason I pushed it as hard as I did this year. Was the last 2 years we had the stuff get way too old on us. So I wanted to try to clean some stuff up this year and try to make it a little bit. After we sprayed the thistles, I wanted to try to make them work at it pretty hard in here. And that's, I'm pleased with the way it's coming out myself. I mean, as you can see right now, as dry as it is, the grass is not coming back. I mean, we had an inch of rain last week that brought a lot of stuff back, but we were looking pretty dry up until that point. We ran cows out on pasture pretty much up until around the first of the year. And then, when did we get to one big snow? We had a big snow in January, but I'm going to say it's like the second week of January was about our limit for cows coming out until we started pasturing this spring. I want to say it was around the 30th of March. So, and then we had triticale, and we might have even been a little sooner than that. And we had triticale, and we pastured triticale all spring then. Well, I kind of rely on the cows get tired of being in the barnyard. Even during some of the snows, we would open the gates and they'd come out for maybe only 20 minutes, but that would kind of get them calmed down, and then they'd be fine for the rest of the day. But we had 2 lots up here that they would come out into. And even on a cold day, and if the ground was frozen, they'd come out here and lay for several hours. I mean, and they were more content laying out here than in the barn. I mean, plus then that gives us time to scrape up and bed up, and there's many times we have to at least run them in the alleyways while we're doing that if we can't put them out anywhere else. We were kind of looking forward to getting them out, and they were looking forward to coming out, but I mean, Yeah, we had, at first, it seemed like the spring was going to start off fairly slow, and like the small grain was starting off real short. But you know, as we're doing small grain now, it's really growed. I mean, but you know, when we first started putting them out, we ran them across, the dry cows were not out at all, and we ran the milk cows across the whole farm or the whole pasture area, and until we got them back from point A to point B, we were about out of pasture. But then at that point, that's where we started in on triticale, and then we couldn't keep ahead of the grass for a while. I mean, and then we put, well, there's probably 40 dry cows out, so we gave them half the farm, and they still got, I figured they got enough grass for about 2 weeks yet. And to go on, and that's if it don't rain, and I'm expecting rain, you know, that I'm expecting the dry cows got enough grass to go on the rest of the summer, let alone, now the milk cows, like I say, we are short now. Once the sorghum Sudan grass comes along, then we'll go the other way real quick.
The Keefers have made significant improvements to Valley View Farm, but also have plans for the future.
I would hope to see a little bit better stand of grass. I would hope to see a lot of them trees not there, but there's a few spots on down here that I'd like to see cleaned up and, you know, look a little bit better. Just like our pond, you know, since we've kept the cows out of that now 2 years, how we've built this, the side back, the bank sides are back with grass. Now we tried to sow some grass on there, and we tried to do stuff like that, but I mean, you know, we got them growing back. I mean, it looks a lot better than it did when the cows were in and out of it 10 times a day. Well, I always think there's all kinds of stuff to learn if you want to learn stuff. I mean, you know, some people know everything, but I mean, yeah, I think it depends what you want to take out of it. I'm glad we did what we did, you know, with NRCS and, you know, putting up the fets and how they divided off. If I would have did it myself, I probably would have did things just a little bit different, and I would have probably ran the fets one down the hill, but I'm glad we kept them at the top of each hill. That, you know, that kind of made a lot better area than, for me, I thought, well, if we put it down further, we'd make the paddocks on the upper side bigger, but to make a long story short, it's made it better to maintain.
To learn more about the Pasture Soil Health Project video series, visit capitalrcd.org.